I'd say on a tangible front, if you came into our house, you would notice that our daughter, makes me quite tearful, is spending more time with us. She is downstairs, we're all connected. And I thought that it would be more permissive parenting. I would argue at first with her, well, how can I let her do more? But it's about the trust. So there's more trust, there's more connection. We are seeing our teenagers more. We are knowing we have a lot more influence in a much more subtle way. I was controlling before, thinking I could influence through management and control, and it's an illusion. And I think the course has helped us to understand that. And our children, I definitely think, are happier for it. We are too. Without revealing too much personal stuff, that actually our world was pretty bad with our kids at the time, especially with one of them. And I'd say that our relationship would have been at a kind of a 1 out of 10 in terms of connection and general harmony and love. To be honest, the real thing that matters is a feeling of love for one another. And I would say that I don't want to say that we're at 10 out of 10 all the time, but we have some good 9.5 moments, 10 moments, much more, and we are not going down to 1. We're going down to with teenagers it's never going to be consistent, but it's more like a sort of 6s to 10s or 7s to 10s rather than down in those really worrying numbers. If I think about the money we spent and I think about, say, the price of a holiday, would I choose this over a holiday and what it's given me? I'd choose it over holidays for the next 5 years, probably, for us to have had all that we've learned. We spend money on crap all the time, but this has given something that's worth a lifetime, to be honest. And again, it makes me quite teary because it has given us the connection with Heidi, and she's a really special person and what she understands, but more what she gives you in terms of just a feeling that you are also okay. And I think it's not about preaching to you, it's about the fact that you feel. She talks about the buckets, about making sure your kids feel enough. I've forgotten the buckets now, but you are enough basically is the end bucket. I'm okay. And I think that you can't give those buckets to your kids unless you feel that yourself. And I think that when you're in the midst of parenting, whether it's children, young children or teenagers, but for me, especially teenagers, you don't feel enough. You feel inadequate. And most of the time, the reason you are reacting so badly is because you feel like a rubbish parent and a rubbish person beyond that. And the more you feel rubbish, the more you overreact. And I think that what Heidi also gives you is a sense that you as the parent are enough. She fills your bucket as a parent, and that's a very special thing. And actually, interestingly, Heidi talked about it at the beginning, and she said, because I said, are there many with teenagers on the course? Because I thought it was really important that it was just about teenagers. And she said, no, it'll be just as relevant to you if it's a 5-year-old or a teenager. And I thought, wasn't quite believing that, but actually it's true that you can listen to one about a bedtime of a 5-year-old and actually get as much out of it, because in fact, what I've learned is teenagers have got a lot in common with 5-year-olds in terms of the fact that they're throwing, tantrums. They want autonomy. So actually, they're not throwing tantrums, but they're fighting for what they want, an independence like a younger child. So actually, yeah, the Q&As have been brilliant. I'm actually quite well versed in this. I've done, my own background is very much on, in terms of therapy related things. And actually, I thought I kind of knew a lot of this stuff. I've read a lot in self-help. I'd read so much, but I think that the most I've learned is really about the nervous system and about regulating yourself for me. And just, it's that space, and Heidi talks about it, about the space between reacting and just having that moment of space. And I'm finding the most is that whereas normally I would be, there's just kind of a bit more space there, and that's been really helpful. But I just go back to that connection that I thought that I could just influence by just management, and I realized through this course that I can't, and that's really what Heidi's given us so much, I think, on the course for us as parents. You know, we have missed a few weeks of Q&As where things have been okay, but actually I would say that even just doing the first few weeks has been enough value for us. So I think that I would wholeheartedly recommend it with all my heart, because it's given us everything. And especially I wish that we'd done this earlier down the track. I mean, way earlier down the track. So I don't think it's too late. I don't think it matters if you've got kids that are in their 20s. I think you'd get so much from this. And for us, obviously, it's still come at a time where we're navigating teenagers. But my goodness, if you can get on board with this and you've got younger children, I wish we had.